Major overhaul. Governor Hogan unveils a $9 billion plan to widen 3 of Maryland's most congested highways. It includes Interstates 270 and 495, as well as the Baltimore-Washington Parkway. WJZ is live in South Baltimore. George Solis has details behind the proposed expansion. George.
Good evening, Vic. The plan calls for 4 new lanes at each of these major highways. Governor Hogan says he's well aware of the nightmarish conditions that have plagued these roadways for years, which is why he says the plan and work to change that starts now. They are some of the most heavily traveled roadways in all of Maryland. Interstate 270, the Capital Beltway, and the Baltimore-Washington Parkway. A chain of highways that sees hundreds of thousands of drivers daily, like this man. How bad is the congestion?
It's very bad either way, north or southbound.
Gridlock often leading to scenes like these, made even worse by the occasional accident. The governor now unveiling his strategy to solve the traffic troubles that have been an issue for years. A $9 billion plan that calls for the addition of 4 new lanes to each highway.
These 3 massive, unprecedented projects to widen 495, 270, and 295 will be absolutely transformative, all of which will provide relief from the traffic congestion that has plagued Marylanders for so many years.
The so-called traffic relief plan calls for 270's 4 lanes to go from the Capital Beltway to Frederick. 495's lanes will go from the American Legion Bridge to Woodrow Wilson Bridge, and 295's ownership will transfer from the U.S. Department of the Interior to the Maryland Transportation Authority. The governor's plan acknowledges that Maryland has the 2nd longest commuting times in the country. Now, some drivers we spoke with are inclined to agree and say they can't wait for this expansion.
It's going to help my commute cut it down.
Others are cautiously optimistic.
It's at least an attempt to solve the problem, which, I appreciate the thought process.
And part of that plan also calls for new express toll lanes on the expanded highways. Drivers say if it helps cut down on commute times, they're all for it. We're live in South Baltimore tonight. George Solis, WJZ, Eyewitness News.
Well, if you've ever been stuck in traffic on any of those roadways, you'll want it. George, thank you very much. The governor says he plans to fund these expansions through private-public partnerships.